Preparing to stream the meeting. Still preparing. There's a bar going. That's a good sign.
Live on YouTube.
Oh, it is? That means we are live.
We're live!
Yes, we are starting the podcast in 3, 2, right now.
The Love Gurus podcast is starting now. The Love Gurus are comics that bring comedic wisdom to the savages asking bizarre relationship questions on the internet. Your hosts are Suzanne Leah Shepherd and Jake Vevera. I am the Love Gurus' pet robot Cassandra. I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Cassandra the robot. You are the greatest machine at introing shows that has ever been created. I'm looking forward to yet another live stream on YouTube, man. Another quarantine episode. Suzanne, how's quarantine treating you?
It's been the same. You know, we're coming up on a year. Like in 4 days, it will have been a year since we did a flight. So, woo!
That just fucking flew by. Anyway, I'm looking forward to having our two awesome guests on. First up, he is a returning guest, a hilarious stand-up comic. He actually has. This is the first I'm hearing about this podcast, but I really want to listen to this because the title alone is hilarious.
So good.
We Were Christian Kids. Mr. Justin Randall, thank you for being back on the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Dude,
Excited
absolutely.
To be here.
Always a pleasure. This podcast, I mean, how long have you been doing it, man? I love the premise of that.
We're on our 10th episode. Came out yesterday, so it's kind of new.
Nice.
But we're rolling along.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I just feel like you touched a place in my heart with just the title of your podcast. So,
were you a Christian kid?
Sorry?
Were you a Christian kid?
I was a Christian kid.
Wow. Oh, and wait, are you from Kansas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I touched you. We're both from Kansas.
Yeah. So touching the church, it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Very Jesus-y people. In fact, they made a Springsteen Jeep commercial about it right after he got arrested for drinking and driving, or right before, rather. That was in Kansas, right? The commercial is talking about the church in Kansas, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one who's seen it. Yeah, fuck it. It's in Zimbabwe. Who gives a shit?
Sorry, then let me just go through my Rolodex of Bruce Springsteen commercials.
No, it's during the Super Bowl, man. It's a big game. Anyway.
I thought you were talking about some old school commercial.
I'm quoting random commercials from the 90s. No, but I'm also excited to introduce our second guest. She is a hilarious stand-up comic and first-time guest on the Love Gurus podcast. Miss Chani Lisbon, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. And in your honor, because if you follow Connie on Instagram, which you all should, she's always plugging the Vita Coco. I love when you plug the Vita Cocos on the stories and they send you free Vita Coco. In your honor, we normally do white wine, but I'm like, now we're doing it at night because of live streaming. I can go fucking hog wild. I'm going to make, I am doing first ever.
Hold on. I am going to get a picture of this. Hold on. I'm going to get a picture of all of you. I mean, I'm sorry that you guys don't have Vita Cocos to hold up. But.
Me too.
I know.
I would love one.
I love that Jake is available to stand there for a while to pose. He's just like, did you get it?
She's taking a video.
Did you get it?
She's taking an Instagram story for Vita Coco, and I'm just looking insane.
Blinking.
Making your own boomerang.
But I love the idea of Vita Coco because it's Vita Coco and vodka because it's like the most healthy thing, and then the thing that's like really kind of frowned upon. So it's like the vodka, which is good for you, and then the cocoa nut water.
I love that you said the vodka, which is good for you.
That's another Kansas thing too. You know what I mean? Is it clear liquor? Then it's mother's milk. It's fine. You drink as much as you want.
Yeah, this coconut water. Anyway. No.
Oh, you weren't joking. Okay.
No. I am joking. Obviously, the other way around. But it's also you think about. Staying hydrated while also having a good time.
Genius.
Coconut water and vodka.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
Dude, well, it's not smart. It's me trying to balance this on the keyboard while I pour it. But
you're shaking it up and everything.
Dude, yeah, I got the big ice cubes that'll last the whole show. This is
very
my first
classy.
ever Vita Coco teeny right here, people. Yes, right here on the Love Gurus podcast. This is going to be.
There's a light behind you, so it's as if Jesus first of all, heard about Justin's podcast. Second of all, saw you were pouring Vita Coco martinis, and now he's gonna get involved.
Russian Jesus churn water into vodka. He is not soft like old school Middle Eastern Jesus drinking nothing but wine.
Oh my God, what if Jesus is Russian? Like my
Everyone was way off. He is Russian and communist. That's right, people. He is the people's savior.
That's great. I could get behind that.
I mean, a lot of stuff would make sense. Like the fact that he's like, here are the rules. Like, if you break these rules, I'm going to fucking break your neck. Like, sounds a little communist to me.
Dude, as a lifelong atheist, I've never had a religious bone in my body. If the blood of the Savior tastes as good as this Vita Coco Teeny, I will convert to whatever fucking religion he's pushing. I don't give a shit, man. I don't care if it's Christianity, Judaism, the thing with all the arms. You know what I'm saying? That elephant guy. I'll worship the elephant guy. Now, any deity whose blood tastes like this is delicious. I really like this Vita Coco
I'm kind of bummed
Teeny.
that I got sober because I'm never going to have a vodka Coca-tini. What did you call it?
Hey, never say never, Connie.
Wow,
That's true.
Justin, for believing in me.
Yeah.
It's a day at a time, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
As a recovering alcoholic, you should look at the glass as 2 halves full. It's it's quarantine. Anything can happen.
Well, that is 100% true. I made it this far though, so.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that we're on Zoom, so we're not next to the vodka.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, this is Connie's kryptonite right here. This is a poker chip destroyer for her. That's what this is, man. This is throwing all the goddamn chips out the window.
Yeah, and so is actually vodka. But anyways,
I really didn't do this to try to drag you off the wagon.
Did you though? Did you? You're like, I know you've been sober for 13 years, but what's more with a drink?
Yeah, no,
lucky number. Here's the lucky number 13.
Yeah, no, he would, if he were trying to do something nefarious, he would have done something like, oh, let's, like something sneaky like a kombucha or something. So
yeah.
His intentions are good, although
it would have been, yes, I would have paid an alcohol delivery guy extra to sneak into your apartment and check under your chairs. You get a Vita Coco Teeny. You get a Vita Coco Teeny. I would have drunk and Oprah'd you.
Yeah. So here's what I will say is that there's definitely a lot of people drinking and writing on the internet, and that's where most of our questions came from this week. Nice.
Let's get to that. Let's get to our first question. First question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions into the Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com or watch every single Thursday night live on YouTube. First question from the wild animals on Yahoo Answers.
First question. Weird situation for me and I need some advice. My best friend and I live together and we're both attracted to the same girl, at least sexually. I know her through him and we hooked up a couple of times, so I told him that since we were good friends, they had also slept together. He asked if I was opposed to having a threesome with her, and I panicked and said, no, I don't have any problems with that, but I'm wondering if it's weird, if it might cause any problems between me and my best friend.
No.
It's also shallow. Is it also shallow or weird that I'm considering that at 28 years old? And what if what if I develop feelings for her? I'm almost there myself. We can pretty much talk about anything with him and me, which makes things easier, and we care about our friendship more than anything because we've been through hell and back. Any advice for this situation? So to give a quick recap, so there's these 2 best friends that live together. They have both had sex with the same girl. The best friend came to him and was like, hey, do you want to have a threesome with that girl we slept with? And he just panicked and was like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm down.
He just got peer pressured into a threesome. My God.
Can I be honest? I have never wanted to be that girl more Can I?
you want sandwich between one confident
Are
guy
you
and
kidding?
one shaky guy?
Are you kidding?
Who's
Yeah.
He's gonna have an amazing Valentine's Day.
That's what I think. Listen, I've never had a threesome, but if I'm gonna have a threesome, I want to break up a friendship. You know,
Two dudes. Yes.
I'm over here like, why do they need the girl? Why don't they just have sex with each other? That's what. Immediate. The whole story. I'm like, come on, guys, you live together. Just do
Justin's
it.
like, just go knock on his door.
Yes.
No, but Justin's bringing up a good point because he does say, you know, he's talking about his feelings.
It's the prologue to many of Justin's favorite porns. Anyway, go on.
100%.
But he's talking about his feelings for his best friend. Like, it kind of seems as though he has this relationship, and by bringing a woman into the picture, it's going to ruin the relationship between the two of them, which two heterosexual guys do not think of. They are not like, oh, if we have, like, I don't know. I just feel like they'd be like, yeah, like that's something they high five over. It's called an Eiffel Tower. It's not called I lost my best friend.
Right. It feels a little gay from the start, I gotta say.
It is. I really hope the guy who suggested it is like the sneakiest gay dude in the world. And halfway through the threesome, the woman's head falls off, and he goes, "Oh my God, she was a robot the whole time. You got a sex robot that looked like that girl that we both supposedly liked. Oh, you sneaky man. Yes, I'll sleep with you because you got hustle. You earned this one, buddy."
Yeah.
That's a porn I would watch.
Yeah. But he also says that he says that he's sexually attracted to this woman. Like, he's not emotionally attracted to her. And it's kind of, you know, there's a lot going on, I think, in the sense of, you know, they're like, oh, we're going to bring this girl over and just like have fun and whatever, which is completely fine. But I don't know, like, okay, so let's take him at his word. And he is genuinely concerned about losing his friendship with his roommate. I mean, like, what? I don't know. Like, I can't picture the situation. Like, so if I were living with one of my girlfriends and we had sex with a guy, like, we would just giggle over it. Or am I crazy?
Well, but that's the thing. You probably wouldn't be doing it with a guy that you were super emotionally into, though, right? I mean, that's where to me, it gets a little weird. He's
sexually attracted to the girl, but he's into, like, he's worried about his relationship with his best friend. He kind of doesn't care about
the girl.
Oh, here, I got you, buddy. It's a mental game you're playing. You're not going to have a threesome. You're going to run a train. Choo-choo. That's fine. You and your friend just ran a train. It's fine.
It's all semantics. You just got to reframe it.
If you're both wearing conductor's hats, it'll be even more fun. That's what I say.
I think he could definitely go like sneak. I think he could do a sneak on this and just text the girl and be like, oh, hey, sorry it didn't work out, but don't tell the best friend that. Then get into the bedroom and be like, oh, well, she's going to show up shortly. Let's get started.
Justin is so on board for this.
I love.
It's like, yeah, you're a genius.
Did they leave their number on this comment, by the way?
Suzanne is the Federico Fellini of gay porn. She's the writer, the director. She has a vision.
Justin, don't you have a boyfriend these days?
Yeah, I do, but
congrats, bro.
Not on the podcast.
Interesting.
In the world of the podcast, I do not.
Interesting.
Did you meet because you were both attracted to the same girl? Did you get him with that old classic trick in the book?
Definitely not. No.
But okay, so let's just go around the table, and so put yourself into the situation. I'm
trying, trust me.
You've
been trying for years.
Oh yeah, 2 dudes, all I want for Christmas. Go on.
But so in this situation, so it'd be who, like, your same sex, whoever your best friend is that's the same sex as you, and then you were gonna invite a third in. I just feel like my friend and I feel like we decided, even if she came to me and was like, hey, I would kind of agree to it, but I don't know. I don't even know if I would panic agree to it. I just know myself so well. I'd be like, this is not a good idea. Like, I'm going to be crying in the corner at the end of this. Like,
Oh,
I have
got
a strict no sex with roommates policy because I've done it. I did it in my early 20s and it was disastrous. I mean, I ended up breaking the lease and moving out. So we don't have sex with roommates in my world. So
yeah,
sure.
I think that that's a very fair policy. Because I think that you brought up a good point. It depends on how much longer the lease is. Like if you only have another month, it's kind of like, okay, fine, we can go down in flames. But like, let's say you're in a great place, like you really like it. Because roommates, it's so tough already. Throwing in the fact that like you banged, like it's, who gets the shower first in the morning? You know what I mean? Like, awkward.
It really is going all in on this being a really good sexual relationship. That's like, I will bet 6 more months on this lease that us coming together is going to be awesome for the rest of the 6 months. Otherwise, it's going to get crazy, man.
Yeah. Do you think that sometimes a goal of realtors or like landlords, like when they're trying to find tenants to fill up their, they only allow people to live in their apartments that have sexual tension?
They show up and there's no sensual tension and they're just like, listen, my last client just signed on the place. Yeah, I got a text from the office. I'm sorry, I gotta go. It's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Find a different apartment to be miserable and not fucking together. That's what I say. Not this one. This one ain't for you.
Yeah, I can safely say that I've never had, I've had sex with a roommate because I live with my boyfriend, but that doesn't count. Like, I guess it does count. Like
that absolutely does not count.
No.
Then you would have sex with every person, every relationship you've lived together in would technically, you'd be sleeping with a roommate with those same broad definitions, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess so as far as roommates, I've never, but also I've always kind of lived with people that I like just never was really like friends with or talked to, like there was no like tension.
I had sex with a roommate once and then she was my girlfriend for a while and then she moved out. It was a full life and death cycle. You know what I mean? It was a full a worm in the cocoon to a butterfly to a dead butterfly. You know what I mean? She lived, you know what I mean? She moved out. It's the dead thing was a metaphor. YouTube, I just want to be clear. The dead thing was a metaphor. She's very much alive. Didn't kill her, didn't try to kill her. Oh my God, the more I get defensive about it, the more it sounds like hey, anyway, next question. Right, guys? Next question. Oh, God.
Next question.
This basement just got darker and creepier.
But see, I can understand some logistics in the situation you just explained, because let's say that you live in a 2-bedroom apartment. You kind of like want to hook up with your roommate. Then if you do hook up with the roommate, the second bedroom can kind of turn into like an office or like an art studio or something. And if the goal is sex, that sounds fine. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing with having sex with a roommate is you're already doing everything that a couple does as roommates. You watch TV together. Sometimes you're cooking together. You're sharing a bathroom. If you add the sex in, you're just like gonna become a couple because
that's true.
It's the last straw. There's nothing left.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say I never lived with the opposite sex. I lived with a guy. I had a guy roommate once that I met on a dating app, but we went on one date a year before we moved in together as roommates, and there was no sexual tension. Once we moved in, I was like, no, thank you. But it's interesting. Like if we would have had sex after we moved, that would have been disaster. Oh, he was so gross. Yeah.
I've lived with other women as roommates that I didn't. That was just the one,
Yeah.
For the most part, it doesn't happen because it's a bad idea. But,
yeah.
Sometimes bad ideas go through well.
I don't know. Maybe the threesome is the way to diffuse the situation. Maybe the threesome is the way to have sex with a roommate because you add someone in the mix and they like sort of diffuse the romantic connection. I don't know. Maybe they should go for it, honestly.
No, that's actually a good point because sometimes let's say that you have really strong feelings for someone, but then they do something that you're just like, oh, like I can't believe that person did that, or you saw them in like a different light, and then it completely extinguishes any feelings you have for them. That's a really good point. It's like, so he sees his friend again, like having sex with this girl, and he's like, oh, you know what, like maybe, yeah, and it does just kind of like, yeah, ease the tension and just kind of diffuses any awkward coffee that they have in the morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, so I think I agree with you, Justin. My final advice for this guy is go for it. And even if the girl doesn't show up, go for it. Take your roommate to downtown because I grew up.
Hell yeah. The world is ending. There's no reason not to.
The world is ending and we need to stop with this. Be our best selves. Be your true self, okay?
That's a good point. I mean, it's kind of like my grandfather it told me on his deathbed. He said, listen, the things you regret most in life are the times you could have had three-ways and shit, and you didn't do it. And I was like, my grandma was like, what the fuck? He's 8. He's 8, you senile bastard. I told you not to talk about three-ways in front of him. And then he'd pretend not to know where he was, but then he'd like wink at me, three-ways. And I'm like, all right, I guess, Grandpa, if that's what you want me to take away from this.
Well, and I hate to point this out, but science is backing up Jake's story because of the rise in STDs in senior living centers. So.
Oh, yeah. My grandpa was the one that started that trend. He really started pushing those STDs heavy with his
2 ladies at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, especially at that age. A lot of
Pinkosums. Yeah, it was crazy with him in there.
Well, I think we answered that question perfectly. Should we move on to our next question?
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, send your questions into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We are going to take our next question from the wild creatures on Yahoo Answers.
Next question. He asked me to spend the night, but he's married. I've been seeing this guy for a few weeks, and he's married. I don't mind, as he's much older, and I'm into older guys who can provide. Every experience, protection, support, intelligence is all better than boys in their 20s. So we've gone on a few dates, and he'd asked if I like to spend the night at his house next weekend, since his wife will be going away. This feels like a huge step, as we've never had sex before, but the physical flirting is definitely building up. I just feel like his house might be risky because the neighbors might see us and stuff. What do I do?
The neighbors might see us. Does he not have fucking walls? Is he living in a third world cinder block shanty? What's going on with this guy?
It's a glass house.
Yeah, or maybe he's never not had sex in a pool.
It's like the old saying, those who live in glass houses shouldn't fuck women half their ages, while the sun is up, because the neighbors will see.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this question, so first of all, here's what I will say. I so respect her for being like, yeah, I'm dating a married guy and I do not care. Like, she just, because some people are like that. They don't believe in monogamy. They don't care if someone that, they're just out to get theirs. And, I'm not saying that I would be one of those people, but, whatever, So she's just straight up, I'm dating a married guy. But it's the going to his house. So that's what I think is odd about the question, because typically in this situation, the first time that they have a sexual encounter is always at like the mistress or whoever the side piece is, right? So I think that part of the question is very odd, that he's come to my house. My wife will be out of town. I don't know. Or maybe she has a roommate situation. I don't know. Like, what's the part that strikes you as the most bizarre about the question, Justin?
I think the part that's most bizarre is that like she's fully dating a married man, and the thing she's concerned about is going to his house. Like, why aren't you concerned about the fact that he's married? Like, can we start there? She's like, I'm okay with the wife and the kids, but I don't want to be inside those 4 walls. Like, what? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And so I think it's, because I can understand, because I don't know, it's like some people I think are fine with this secret relationship. Like, they date married people, but they understand that it's not really like widely accepted socially. So they're fine to sneak around in the situation. But I don't know, and she's like worried about the neighbors, which also I feel like this question comes from the Midwest, because in New York, that's not really something you ever care about. Like,
yeah, I haven't seen my neighbors all quarantine. Like, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed me from actually getting to know I will never know my neighbors.
But what will the family in 12B think about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. They live in a house. They're in rural somewhere, bumblefuck.
Yeah. But and here's from my experience, like first of all, living in the Midwest, but then having lived in New York and then going back to visit friends and family and that kind of thing. It is true that your neighbors spy out the window because nothing is going on.
Yeah. I sort of agree with. I don't think it's so crazy that she's worried about the neighbors because of that circumstance. Like they're definitely in a neighborhood where that would be like an issue.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like
she's fine to date, but like she doesn't want to go to his neighbor. Like I don't know. I think I.
But
because what if the neighbors know him and the wife? You know, the neighbors for all. I mean, that could be. They could be best friends, the wife and the neighbor lady,
right?
And
like
then
they
it's
can
like
be going out to dates and stuff, like in places where like no one knows either of them. But like if she comes to his turf and then someone sees them, then like he gets in trouble.
Yeah, but she doesn't get in trouble.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. She's going to his hood, so it's his reputation that's going to go down in flames. Like he obviously doesn't. He clearly doesn't care. Like he just wants to bang her, and so. You know, why is she so concerned about these rando neighbors? You know, like, it's not like they're going to put her face on like the community billboard, or I don't know, maybe they will.
I do like the fact that she is more freaked out about the neighbors, like Justin was saying, than the wife and the kids in general. That is a veteran. That is a veteran homebreaker move. You know, she's jaded.
Do we know that he has kids? Does it say he has kids?
added that in.
I hope he does. I hope that this lady's just like, yeah, I don't care. Do you know how many times I have had women just like buzzing my apartment bell and yelling at my super like Karen and Goodfellas, just, hey, there's a whore that lives in 6B. You're a whore, Janice. It's like white noise to me. I fall asleep to that. I don't care. Let him come over.
But I will say, I mean, my next door neighbor could be cheating on his wife every single day, and I would never know.
Me neither.
I don't know what his wife looks like. I don't know if he's married. Oh, I don't know if that's their kid. No clue.
I also wouldn't care. I'd be like, live your life, do your thing. It's not my business.
2021, everything goes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another good point as well. It's like she's really worried about. I'm just saying, okay, so she's really worried about the judgment from these people that she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know what they would do if they caught them cheating. So it's like, so to me, there's maybe something else about this relationship that she doesn't like. And maybe it is the fact that he's married. Whoops. You know, like there's something else about the relationship itself that I think she's not 100% comfortable with. I mean, I kind of hope it's that. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. That sounds judgy.
I'm not going to cheat shame people.
We won't judge you for judging. You're allowed to judge. She's allowed to cheat.
Not here, we won't. Yeah.
Yeah. But so it seems like she really isn't okay with the relationship itself. And so it's when it's kind of like when I myself am in a new relationship and I really like the person that I'm dating, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to introduce you to my friends and like all, integrate that person into my life. But if it's someone that I don't like that, but like, have you ever been in a situation where you're on a date with someone you totally don't like and you accidentally run into a friend?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like
you're like ashamed of the date that you're on. You're like, oh my God.
You like say to your friend, like, this is just a bumble date. Like I have a very specific story where I ran into Ben and Michelle Rosenfeld in Astoria when I was on a date with someone. I was like, I don't like him. Don't tell anyone I'm dating.
Don't talk to him. Don't look at him. I don't like him.
I'm only here with him because I hate his goddamn wife and I want to get back at her.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. So like I said, my tidbit for this person, I don't know if it's even advice. It's just that there's obviously something about the relationship at its core that you don't like, and that's why you care about these fake neighbors, whether it's, he's married or maybe you do actually kind of crave someone, because she does say that he's like twice her age and that she likes older guys, which always kind of seems like an issue. But I
have a strong opinion that he should get them a hotel room. and the fact that that's not happening is very disturbing to me.
Yeah, that's
especially
true.
if he's the provider,
He's
the
a
older
provider.
guy. Yeah, get a fucking hotel room. Come on.
No, I love.
Why are they fucking in the bed that he has sex with his wife?
Yeah. Because here's honestly, it's not the bed that would creep me out the most. It would be the bathroom. Like it would be going to the bathroom and like seeing the wife's thing.
Toothbrush.
Yeah.
Like see, that is what would creep me out.
That's the thing when I'm sleeping with married women. I pee before I get there. I pee after I leave. The last thing I want to do is be in the bathroom and then some violent ex-cop comes home, and then I'm caught with my pants down getting shot like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, Did we learn nothing from that movie? Did we learn nothing from that Quentin Tarantino classic? When you're up to no good in some other guy's apartment, you don't stop to take a deuce.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it's a very vulnerable position.
Yes. Yeah. He's got that book he was reading the whole movie. He just kind of looks at him like, well, I guess I'm getting shot now. Son of a bitch. I wish I would have gone at Denny's. This sucks.
Oh, love it, Denny's. Well, perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. Are we doing commercials this week or?
Kind of. Let's give it a try. Let's hear from our somewhat kind of not really sponsors, but the thing that's keeping me going. Do you need a nice, refreshing martini? You want to feel like you're on the beach, tropic somewhere? Feel like you're getting wasted, but still kind of being healthy. You know what I'm saying? Getting your carbs, not your carbs, but fiber, your vitamins in. Feel like you're drinking and getting the six-pack back somehow. Nothing can give you that feeling like a Vita Coco Teeny. Oh, I love Vita Coco and vodka. Oh my God, it's like mother's milk to me. Hang on. You know what? I'm even gonna go out on a limb and say that tastes even better than my mother's breast milk. Oh my God, do I love Vita Coco Teeny? It's goddamn delicious. Vita Coco Teeny. Get you some. All right. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. Here we go, people. Next question coming back. Oh, no. We're going. I figured might as well skip the intro. That made it weird last time. You know what I mean?
Oh, you want me? Okay, next question?
Oh, yeah. Here, you know what? I'll even bring up another song. Here we go. Next question coming up.
I feel like I was ambushed into a four-way.
Yeah. When you were only expected a three-way. It's awkward. I know.
Oh!
Who the hell's this fourth guy that just sprung out of the closet? Is that Bubba the Love Sponge? Is he filming this whole thing and leaking it to TMZ? I'll sue those bastards for like $32 million or whatever. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, we are here with Justin Randall and Connie Lisbon coming back with another one from the Wild Animals on Yahoo Answers.
Next question. How close is too close with family? I'm 37 and very close with my immediate family. Not so close that it's weird that they take priority all the time, but my mom is like my best friend, and I tell her mostly everything. But she doesn't trump any relationship, even if she likes to think that she does. My guy is 35, and he's very close with his family as well. His parents are his best friends, and he basically plans his life around them. He's always thinking about the future with them, like, I should book a cabin for the summer and get 2 bedrooms so that my parents can come out for a few nights. And I need to give my parents something to do to look forward to. His mom even knows pieces about our sex life.
This guy's so much more boring than the philandering cheaters in the previous couple
Are these
questions.
questions real?
Yeah, these are from the internet.
Wow.
Yahoo Answers, man. They're a wild bunch over there.
Or he'll say, I can't commit to X, Y, and Z because I'm going shopping with my mom sometime and I'm not sure when. He'll ask my opinion and then go with his mother's opinion every damn time. It's gotten to the point that I've just told him to ask her not to bother me. He also gets mad when I don't want to go to every function that I'm invited to. He says I make him choose between me or them, but I don't. What should I do with this situation? How close is too close? So, okay, here's Okay,
I was really hoping she was going to go, he thinks that I make him choose between them and me, and he's goddamn right. He should choose me.
Okay, here's my first take on this question, because she starts off and says, listen, I'm close with my immediate family. My mom is my best friend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then she starts talking about how her boyfriend is in the exact same position where his parents are his best friends. And so she gives all of these examples of, he does this, he does this. I think she probably does the exact same thing. I think she's probably the hugest hypocrite that's ever walked the face of the earth. She calls her mom calls her mom 4 times a day, and he just puts up with it. But she is more of a princess and is like, you're picking your mom over me. And she just has a problem with the exact same relationship she's in with her family. I think she's just a big hypocrite. Or am I judgy again?
No, this is probably why they're together, because they're both obsessed with their mom. So they just click in that way.
Yeah, they're digging a tunnel from their mother's basement to each other, right in the middle. It's like Lady and the Tramp for people that don't leave the nest.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is if we were in like Scotland in 1200, they would all live in the same mud hut anyway. So like, why are we getting away?
Dear Yahoo Answers, I'm trying to have sexual relations with me future missus in the mud hut, but her family keeps being like, don't fucking on mud hut. What should I do?
That's the best Scottish accent I've
That was very good. I was impressed with no practice.
Jacob said,
I'll tear the roof off on his hill, you mud hut woman.
Mud hut woman.
But here's another opinion I have, is that I think in a relationship, only one person can be the family person, and the other person has to be kind of the
codependent.
Yeah. So because so in my relationship with my boyfriend, he's very close with his family. Like they get together all the time. Whereas like I like my family and everything, but we only see each other maybe like once or twice a year. So and so that works because it's not an issue of like, oh, what are we gonna do for Christmas? It's like it's fine, because my family will do something like in the summer or whatever. But whereas like,
oh my God, it's totally the same way with me and Amy. Yeah. I haven't seen my family since 2000. I don't know which teen. I don't even remember. It's been like 3-4 years since I've been back to Iowa. Yeah. She's with her family all the time, 100%.
What about Connie? Do you like have an opinion about like, do you think that two people in a relationship can be super close with their families?
So I think that, I dated somebody who was like really close to their family, and like when I'm talking like every holiday, I'm talking like President's Day weekend, was like, I have to see my family. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not a holiday. You know what I mean? Like it was a little
every
much.
President's Day of my family has the tradition.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, literally everything. And so I'm not that close to my family. So I was like, cool, whatever. I don't care. But I thought it was, if we were both like trying to be like that, it wouldn't have worked. But I do know people that are close to both, and like they just alternate years. So like one year, this Christmas they'll go there, then Thanksgiving, like they just, like my 2 friends are married, and like they're both close to their families, and they just take turns going to the other person's house.
Yeah.
And it works for them. But like for me, I was like, I had time for that because I don't really like my family. So I was like, yeah, let's go celebrate President's Day. And
you hear that, internet? Connie doesn't like her family.
Yeah, I don't really. It's fine. I could never see them. I'll be fine.
They'd have to do a deep dive to find that comment. Let's be honest. So I think you're okay. They're gonna be like, the Love Gurus podcast. Let me go to minute 45 and see what Connie says about us.
Minute 45 is my favorite minute of any podcast.
That's when the action happens. Yeah.
No, I love them, but from New York, and they live in LA. You know what I mean? Like I love
exact same. My family, one brother lives in LA, one brother lives in San Francisco, my dad's in Arizona. I definitely love them. I think they're great, but we just see each other once a year, and that's that it's completely fine.
Yeah,
right. That's what it is with me too. And I mean, it's not even as far as LA. Like my family's in Iowa, but that's still a good 2 days of driving. So it's like I do it when I can. It's every few years.
Yeah, you've been busy this year, huh?
I've been busy this year. Not back in Iowa, though. They don't give a shit about COVID. They do not give a shit about that. My whole family got COVID. They still don't care about it. My one aunt got it twice. My little brothers got it. This is what my mom told me. My mom told me that both of my little brothers got it. This is like 3 months ago when they were peaking in Iowa, like bad at this time. 3 months ago. This is not when it was new. This is 3 months ago. They got it at a jiu-jitsu tournament. They were both competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I was like, because she mentioned, she was like, yeah, everybody in their gym got it. I'm like, wait a minute. They're still rolling around on the mats? Like, and she was like, oh, yeah, they traced it back to this one big tournament that the whole tournament got COVID. I'm like, they had a tournament? Like people rolling on the mat with people in the stands? And she was like, yeah, it's just, jiu-jitsu tournaments. We're not going to let this vitamin, this vitamin cocoa. I was going to say, I tried to say virus, but I love this Vita Coco so much that I just I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I can't quit you, Vita Coco. And yeah, but they were like, we're not letting the virus change our way of life. We in Iowa have always loved jiu-jitsu tournaments, and we're always going to do that. So
that is a choice.
That's a super spreader event. You're like, ha, ha, ha. Every time you take a hit, you're like exhaling as hard as you can.
Joke's on you, virus. I got COVID at a thing last night. Fuck you. I'm not even scared of you today.
Jeez.
Oh, man, that podium glory. So sweet. So sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So how would you categorize yourself, Justin? Would you consider yourself to be first of all, do you think that two people can be super close with their families in a relationship, or you think it's one isn't?
It's so foreign to my mind because my family's low-key homophobic. So I'm not allowed to bring a boyfriend home. My boyfriend's family is low-key homophobic, so he can't bring a boyfriend home. So we are the opposite of this Yahoo question. We are like,
yeah, that's perfect because there's no discussions. It's like
none. There's no family involved. I'm like, you got to stop. I mean, he is closer to his parents than I am. So there is a little bit of that because I'm like, you need to set up boundaries, that kind of thing. So I kind of get it. But no one is like sucking on the mom's teat like this straight guy is in the story. That to me is just strange. He is way too close to his mom. I think he wants to fuck her. And that's my honest opinion.
Oh my God.
I'm talking like on a Freudian level.
Yeah,
obsessed.
I agree.
Justin, I miss you so much.
Yeah, I think it's a huge red flag if the mother knows about the sex life. Like that.
Yeah, that's definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah. Does she do that thing that I taught her to do? Yeah, it gets weird after a little while.
Yeah,
I taught her the thing you like. What do you mean she hasn't been doing it? Get her on the phone. Get her on the phone, mister.
How dare you treat my baby boy that way? But yeah, I agree. I think it's because again, I think that she's probably withholding some very key information to get us on her side in this case. But so unclear, she talks to the mother about their sex life, but the fact that the son, because I know this sounds really sexist, but it is kind of one thing if a daughter and a mother are kind of talking about around the topic, nothing specific, that's kind of okay. But a son and a mother,
no.
It's a no.
That's a hard no for me.
See, it's hard for me because my mom's been dead for I was never an adult, so I have no idea. I
don't talk about sex with my mom. I just want to put that out there. Did I call her and say, hey, yo, he knew what was up? No. I don't do that with my mom or my stepmom, funnily enough, either.
Yeah, I think that
I'm not going to say I've never talked about sex with my mom, but listen, it's not like the way this creepy boy does it. All right, it's my mom, she can go on and on and on the phone. She just talks and talks and talks, yaks about nothing. And after about the 30-minute mark, what I've started doing is I was going down on this chick the other night, and okay, goodbye. Good. Rest of my days back.
Smart.
Really
boom.
That's so. I don't know. So I think that, I don't know. In my opinion, she has to decide, because this to me sounds like this relationship is headed for a breakup, because if he's already saying things to her, she's making him choose between, her and the family, if that's even a question, the relationship is never going to work out, because if he's still picking his family over her, like she's not enough for him, and you know, so it's I just think it's curtains. I don't know. Does anyone else think that this relationship can get saved?
Therapy.
But I also think they like, because they're both like mama's kids, I think they actually like are gonna be together for a while.
Oh, so they kind of like
I think they share that like weird need to be
language.
Close to their mom thing. And I think that like is actually like something that binds them, which is fucking weird.
But you know what's even weirder though is that she has that need too, and she's calling his need to be with his mother.
I didn't see that question coming. Like when she started saying how close is too close, I didn't like. She was talking about herself, and then she turned it on him, and I'm like, you're just that's you also. Like you're both the same.
It was a really creepy M. Night Shyamalan twist of a mama's boy.
Yeah,
question.
like the way she set up the question, I was not prepared.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. Should we do one more?
Absolutely. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions into Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com. We are going to hear one more from the Wild Savages on Yahoo Answers.
Okay. Last question. Really hit it off with a guy from Hinge, but he follows 40 plus explicit, sexy Instagram accounts. Is that a red flag? I'm in my late 20s and female, and a really sweet guy in his early 30s. I met him through Hinge. We started dating. We've been on more than 5 dates, and I looked at his Instagram briefly, and because I've had a bad experience before with online dating, I just wanted to be safe. I was super weirded out to see that of the 200 people he follows, about 50 of them were explicit, sexy.
Oh, that's a quarter of them. Wow.
No,
that's a solid quarter.
The numbers are not good for him.
Yeah.
I did ask him nicely why that is, and he
knows about Pornhub, right? I mean, there's an app where it's like, dude, this doesn't have to be on your Instagram. You can see like fully nude people on Pornhub, and it doesn't have to meet any community guidelines, any of that shit. You just type in the craziest fucking thing you can imagine, and boom, there's a whole page of it.
And then erase it from your browser. No one has to see it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
This bastard's snitching on himself. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I would have reposted it if not all of my followers weren't Orthodox Jews. I 100% would have reposted it.
Oh, I'll bet a quarter of them know that trick anyway.
Yeah.
I know, but like they don't want to hear that I'm looking at porn. They just
I asked him nicely why that is, and he said that they were people through Tinder that he liked their Instagram, but then forgot that he follows so many, and they don't show up in his feed. Is this a red flag? A deal breaker? I think we've kind of already answered this question. Yeah. Like, first of all, like 200 following 200 is kind of not that many. Like, if you think about all the people that you know, that you like, my Instagram account isn't even that big, and I think I follow at least like 700. So or 200, and then a quarter of those. So that's arguably 1 out of every 4 posts. So I'm calling bullshit on his, they don't show up in my feed.
No, he's a liar.
Oh, he's a virile man. He's got a high sex drive. Come on.
How did she not pick up that he was like sleazy till after the 5th date? How is he hiding his sleaziness?
She just said to herself on January 1st, new year, new me. And then,
My biggest concern is not that he's looking at all of these women. It's that he doesn't really know how social media works. Like, what a turnoff. I hate that. Like, everyone can see who you're following. We know this, right?
Yeah. And no, I think that's a good point, because it's sort of because things are only going to get more complicated and more advanced as you age, or they're going to change. And if you can't keep up with that, and you are already like, I don't know how Instagram works, despite the fact that Instagram's been around for like a million years already. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that's the hugest turnoff, because I mean, it's good because then you would know instantly if he's cheating on you, but he's kind of dummy. Kind of a dummy.
This guy, once Instagram models start hooking themselves up to Oculus, you'll never see this man again. Oh my God, he is diving deep into that VR world like an episode of Black Mirror. He's going crazy. He's going bug wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Would you go out with him? Would you keep going out with him?
Oh, come on. Yeah, you guys going to call him sleazy. You were just telling this guy, the first guy, to go fuck a chick with his roommate. And now you're like, I don't like these Instagram models. It's too out of control. It's like, he's just looking at some models, man.
I'm going to give a very shallow answer. If he were loaded and like attentive to me, I think I would still date him. Now, and so what I mean is that if I saw this, but first of all, I did like feel a connection with him, and there was some other like very redeemable factor about him, I would be like, listen, I'm just going to kind of be like whatever about this relationship and like make him 100% chase me. And if he did, then great, like still keep having fun. I don't know. I mean, because like, let's be honest, like everyone watches porn, guys, girls, like what, it doesn't matter. Like, so to think that
I only jerk off to Instagram models. You disgust me with that comment.
Who you're dating doesn't look at porn is naive at best. And so
no, but it's not the porn. It's just the idea, like Justin said, he doesn't know how it works. Like, why are you openly following these? I don't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But yeah, I still, my answer is the same. It's just very shallow.
This man cannot open Instagram on the train. That's what I keep thinking of.
Oh, no.
Instagram is an at-home activity for him.
Yeah, that's true, man. And it's not even necessarily the amount that he's following. It's his porn Instagram to non-porn Instagram ratio that's a little fucking nutty. If he's following 40, but he's following, like a couple thousand.
Yeah,
total,
yeah.
It's
totally.
like, whatever, man. You're clicking follow and all that. I probably follow 40 different Chihuahua accounts on Instagram. I follow everything, man. So like, I have all kinds of nutty shit on my, I have QAnon shit pop up on my Instagram. Like, how'd you get there, Q? You sneaky fuck. What kind of, are you posting dog pics to trick me, Q? Come on, you nutty bastard. No, I'm not storming the Capitol, even though that pic is adorable. Who's going to take back democracy? Who's going to stop the count? Oh, he's got a sweater on. He's got a little QAnon sweater.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. I would also love if actually he had another Instagram account that was his real burner account, and that is like,
only porn models.
This was the acceptable ratio. That
No, wait, no. His burner one is Disney stars. This one is like, listen, this is to make people like, look how age appropriate my sexual habits are, huh? Look at that people on the train. All of them over 18. Yeah. Don't look at the burner phone.
Well, I think we answered that question. So I know we said this is the last one, but there's one lightning round question. Can we do one quick lightning round just because I'm very, very interested to hear everyone's responses? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Lightning round. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. Write your questions into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Follow us live every single Thursday at 9 o'clock. Write us questions on YouTube in the chat. And definitely like and subscribe. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast.
Okay, so let me preface by saying this question. There are no other details with this question. It is just it's a straightforward question. We don't have any background information, but this is clearly someone who is in a time of need. So we'll just do a lightning round where we'll just go around the table quickly and just give our answer to this person's desperate need. Okay, so the question is, my ex-boyfriend is a barista at Starbucks and I want to have him fired. How do I go about doing that? And here's why that's interesting is because I don't know, how would you get someone from Starbucks fired? The only thing I could think of is that you call into the Starbucks and say that he sexually harassed.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, how else would you go about getting someone from Starbucks fired?
You could say that you ordered oat milk and he gave you real milk and you're lactose intolerant, and then you could shit all over the bathroom.
Yeah, well, but that's
I don't know if he would get fired for that.
right?
He would just have to clean that up.
Oh, that's a good point.
Just as good.
Especially now that Starbucks is so woke, they're letting like homeless people shoot heroin in the bathroom. They're gonna be like, wait a minute,
true.
is he or is he not on heroin? Oh, he's not even on heroin. This is fine. This is way better than yesterday.
Can I just say one of my best New York moments was one time when I went into a Starbucks, because they really do kind of like crack down on it. But I went to this bathroom in Starbucks, and there was a man. I don't know if he was necessarily homeless, but he looked homeless, and he was shitting in the toilet, but he was also hovering. Like, he himself would not put his butt on the seat.
I ain't sitting on this here seat now. Not that. Oh shit! No!
Yes.
No music! No.
The
No!
Gurus
We've already heard the
podcast
intro. Oh, it ruined by homeless man axed out.
Yeah.
Know that it was going to be the raspy voice of a homeless man who was grossed out by shitting on sitting on the seats at Starbucks because they let his other homeless friends in there, and he's like, "I'm too much to do that."
I just
pure
thought
animals.
that's why I say he looked like he might be homeless, but maybe he wasn't, because even he was not going to put his butt on the toilet seat of a Starbucks. So
He didn't lock the door. Is that how you walked in on him?
yeah, and he didn't lock the door, and he was like he wasn't like brazen about it. He was like genuinely like, oh no, that was his me time, and I felt really bad about it. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like back down.
Is she a barista? Because if so, I'll have her fired. By God.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Ooh,
okay,
that's how you get fired. Say you saw him telling a homeless man not to shit in the bathroom and do heroin. Boom.
Yeah, I guess just accuse him of something really bad. But that's the only thing I could think of. And bless those Starbucks workers. I don't want to get any of them fired. This woman's evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awful. Yeah,
She's
why is
mad.
she writing in this question? What a bitch.
What a bitch.
Oh yeah,
I hate her.
Connie says,
I hate
I hate her.
she's definitely the biggest animal of the podcast.
Yeah. And hers was like the most straightforward, non-related to dating. We're like, we hate this cunt. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I hate that word.
It's one thing to be like, oh, I'm gonna take down. I mean, there's a lot of revenge movies out there where it's like very satisfying because like at the end of the day, the ex-boyfriend is some like private equity douchebag who like
Right.
down hometown America.
It's just a minimum wage service worker.
He's just trying to make a latte, this poor guy.
This guy's warming up croissants in the morning. Like, let him live his life.
Yeah.
He got away from me, but I still want him to pay. I want revenge for the thing that is so petty. I'm not even telling you what it is, but I am angry. Ah!
She is trash. But perfect. Well, I think we answered that question, and we answered all of the questions very well, I must say.
Absolutely. Thank you to our two awesome guests. Thank you to
Yes.
Connie, thank you to Justin.
Thank you.
People drink more Vita Coco Teenies. It's goddamn delicious. I love it. It's beautiful. And check out the We Were Christians podcast. I can't wait to listen to that. I love the premise of it. Justin's hilarious alone, but you add that crazy premise. I can't wait, man. That sounds awesome.
Thank you.
This is a fun episode. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you to listeners for listening.
Nice to meet you, Suzanne.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I didn't even realize you guys haven't met. I'm so shitty at interest. I just assume everybody knows everybody from doing comedy, and I'm just like, you all have clearly done 1,000 bar shows together, and maybe a couple decent ones, like everyone else, and they
Fine.
probably know each other.
We'll do another show together at some
Another
point.
show.
Yes. After the pandemic is over, or we just decide that we're gonna go full Iowa and not care anymore, and just cough on each other and fucking roll around mats and tell dick jokes. That's
Thank you for having me on.
absolutely.
This was so
Thank you for
fun.
being on.
For being on.
Okay.
And thank you to
bye.
listeners. Until next time, later.